Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing box 2 of the IXO Collections release of build the Lancia 37. Is it Lancia or Lancia? I'm pronouncing that wrong, I know I am. If you remember last time, quite an impressive rally car this is. Look, check this out. This is exactly what we did in pack 1. Loads to do, but we are going to start working on the frames now in box 2. Now I do actually have box 2 M3 here. I'm only going to do box 2 today. We also created the Pirelli wheel there as well. That's what we did in pack 1. Now if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link to the IXO Collections website down the bottom there, and you can get this all the way from pack 1, which I said loads to do in that one. Let's see what we got to do today though. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, the magazines, as I said, are in French, but the instructions, if you want them in English, are on the IXO website. And as you can see, we're going to start doing some of the frame here. So by the end of it, the first one here, we're going to have this section looking like that. So, all going to start in stage 5, which I've got here. Let's get all of this stuff out. Now, we have got 2 lots of screws, SM screws, and we've also got GM screws, but they also provide a nice pillbox that we can keep all of our screws in. Now I've seen these before, nice little transfer we can stick over the top. So all my spare screws I will keep in here. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to take these 2 small brackets here. These are all metal. They're just going to go onto this area just like that. So we have got some brackets either side. They're going to be held in with these SM screws. Now you know what I'm going to say, putting it in oil because I'm going into metal. So let's get these in. So one this side. Once again, I'm using a Wearer, that's the brand, PH0 screwdriver for this. And there you go, that's the second one in there. Now we've got these 2 brackets here. As you can see, we've got this extra detail, which we want to be facing down because these are going to go into those brackets that we've got here. Now these brackets do have 2 holes on them. It's the top hole that we're actually putting these into. They're going in with these GM screws. So let's get the first one in here. Probably best to start it just through the first hole there. And then put this in. Just like that. And then continue putting that all the way through. Now if you need a bit of extra torque, this is where I use my PH1 screwdriver. And this will give you enough torque to get that all the way through. Now some people say, why can't I get a PH0 screwdriver with a thicker head to make it turn easier? And the problem is, I asked Wearer this question, it's because if you had too much torque on such a little head, chances are you're going to break the screw. That's why the PHOs only come with a small handle. Just going to repeat what I've just done there by putting a screw in this side here. Again, I'm starting it off and then I'll put this into place. And that's in as tight as I can get it. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now we're going to start building onto that frame now with the rack here. So we're going to be creating some universal joints and creating the steering rack, as you can see just there. So I always find these really fiddly to do because I've got to make a universal joint, which means putting this little block here into here like that. So I'll be able to attach things the other side as well. It's actually held in with SM screws. Now if there's ever a time that I'm going to hurt myself on these builds, it's normally doing these universal joints. I think I caught myself out on doing the Cobra and the Knight Rider build, which is why I have a whole heap of plasters here, just in case. So if something untoward does happen, you'll hear me shout, "Medic!" Okay, on the other side of that, we've got this connecting rod here. This does look symmetrical, so I can put this in just onto this side here. And once again, some SM screws to hold that into place. Now I do have a metal collar that looks like this. It has got a raised section, which I want to point towards the actual main rod, but it fits in there between the gear. call it gear, rod, crank, cog, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. This enables us to attach it to this side of the steering rack brace. It's going to go in just like this. Once again, held in with SM screws. The open side of that bracket needs to be facing down towards this side. One in that side there. And one in the other side. There you go, that's in place. Just make sure that that still turns. Perfect. We then want to take the rack here. Make sure the shorter end is on your left. And just put that inside here. Make sure that that slots all the way in. So when it turns, as you can see, that's going to operate that there. And then we want to close that off by putting the other side of that on. This way round. Put it together. As a matter of fact, before I do that, I am going to just coat this in a lot of oil. Because you don't want this sticking or seizing up or anything like that. I am going a little bit to town on that. There we go. And put this together like this. Once again, SM screws to hold this together. One this side. And just one down the bottom here. Now with those in, there's two more screws to put in, just either side of where we put that brace. These again are SM screws. So one this side. And one just on the other side here. There you go, they're all in. And as you can see, when I turn, nice and smooth, that's going to turn like that. But that's all there is to do in that stage. It looks like we're going to start creating some of the wishbones here. So in stage 7, we've got quite a few more parts to put together. So by the end of it, it's looking just like that, expanding on what we've just created. Okay, so we're going to need this little part here, which is going to go on the shorter arm of this wishbone here. It's just going to go over the top there like that. I'm going to close that off by putting the other side in this. That's this triangular section just like this here. And that's going to go over the top there. And then we're going to be putting a screw just in here to hold it together. That's an AM screw. And get that in fairly tight. There you go. That's that side in. I'm going to do pretty similar to the other side here. So as you can see, that side's in like that. We've got the plate here going in the other side. And again, I'm going to be putting an AM screw just for the outside here to keep both of those in place. Just like this. And there we go. That's both of those in place like that. Now we want this piece of the frame here and also the steering rack that we worked on last time. And I want to be putting this end of the steering rack just through the hole here. Rotate around the little bracket here, which has got a hole in it because we're about to put a screw through that. So once that's lined up, just like that, I'm going to be putting a screw in from the outside here. So it's going in this side here. This is an AM screw again. It's already in some oil. There you go. Get that in nice and tight. We can just put this whole thing to one side and bring over this short rod here. I've got a bush to put on top of that. The bush is just going to be going on this way here. We want to poke the top through, so you might have to just push it down so it looks like that, so that the beveled end here is towards this section. Bring over what we've been working on this steering here, and I'm going to be attaching this section here just into that section there. Now there is a tilted way round this can go, and I'm not sure which way it is, to be honest with you. I'll put it in that way. It's going to be held in with a WM screw. I'm just screwing this in just to cut the threads before I actually put this on, otherwise I'm going to have a bad time, and I'm going to damage myself, I think. So as you can see, I almost did that then. But having it all threaded like that shows that it's going to work. So take this out, and once again I can put this into place on here and then screw that back in. as you can see, it does just make things a lot easier for you. That bush can then hide that joint there for now. You should still be able to turn, as you can see, like that. Also, just make sure that if you've got it round this way, that this here is facing down. So if it's that way round, this is facing down towards the point of that frame there. Now on top of this, now we're going to be taking the wishbone. It's going to go this way round, so this one's going to go in here, just like that. The other one has got a locating lug. It's going to go in like that. Now this is going to be held in with AM screws, just from the other side. Fiddly little thing. I'm hoping my video helps, because the instructions aren't really very clear with these bits. So there's the second one in. Again, an AM screw. Something I just realised, look, there's my mistake. We need this to be underneath this wishbone. So I'm just going to take that off and ensure that that's moved. Once again, I do keep my mistakes in, because if I've made that mistake, you're going to make it too. And there you go. When they're in, they should look just like that. So take this section, turn it upside down like this, and then we're going to be taking what we created in the first stage of this pack. We've got this side section here, which is going to go into the edge of this frame just here. It's going to line it up. It's going to be held in with an SM screw. And get that nice and tight. Excellent. There we go, that's in. The last thing to put in is 7G. This has got a thicker end. This is sort of like thin. This is thick. It's the thicker end that's just going into the hole just here. And that's held in with an SM screw. Now the screw comes in from the other way, so it's probably best to put the screw in first and then attach it. Getting that in as tight as I can get it. There you go. And that's in like that. Nice mess of frame parts there, but it's done exactly like it looks on the picture, so I'm happy. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 8, we are continuing with the wishbone and the suspension areas here. So it's pretty similar to what we've just done for the other side here. So that looks like that, and that's all there's going to be to do in this pack. So just remember, we are now professionals at this. So again, we're going to take the shorter end and put this bracket in here. Close it off with what goes on the other side here. And then that's held in, once I've got this clipped together, with an AM screw just through there. And then on the other side, same way, just put that in this side and close that off with this one here. And once again, an AM screw just to hold all of this together. So I'm going to be taking this frame here, just like last time. Make sure it's the right way around. This is going to go through that hole there, and it's going to be held in from an AM screw. Get that in nice and tight. We do want to make sure that the other side of this rod goes into this hole. So it's all ready to go, because I'm going to need to put that in as well. So while I have got that rod out, I'm going to put an SM screw in here, just on the other side. And that will keep that in place. Now the last SM screw I'm just going to put in is the one that's just going to attach this to the frame at the bottom there. So get this over the hook. Very fiddly, but that's those in place with those 2 SM and 1 AM screw in. Once again, I'm going to be attaching this extension here to the steering rack, just like this, held in with SM screws. We do need to make sure, once again, that I've put the bush on. So it comes out the other side. That's held in with the WM screw. So just like I did first time, I'm going to actually just pre-thread this before I actually put that on that universal joint, so that it will go in a lot easier. There we go. Get that all the way through. A little bit of extra power on my PH1 screwdriver. Excellent. Again, we can put that bush just over that joint. And that can still turn, as you can see, like that. Excellent. The last thing to do is, again, mirroring the other side. We're just going to be putting this wishbone in here, making sure this is underneath. So this one's going to go in this side. There is a locating lug for it. The other one's going to go into the other side there. They're held in with the AM screws. And there you go. That was quite a fiddly little pack. Let me just zoom up so you can see how much we've put together and how this looks. It's very much a difficult pack, I have to say. But hopefully my videos helped you out, that you'll be able to create this. It's all ready now for the wheels and the brake hubs to actually go in place. I thought that was going to be a lot quicker than that, but that was an actual difficult stage to do, as you can see here. But we got there in the end. It's all good. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.